Digital blended learning is using technology to introduce information to students in a way that traditionally they might have gotten it through lecture or through communication with the teacher through a lab. And so now we're having them research and do what we call authentic learning, which is where the student is posed a question and then they're able to use the technology to research the answer to that question. The teacher is no longer the presenter of the learning, they're now the facilitator of the learning. So instead of that traditional lecture style method where we stand in front of the student and we give them information, the student is now finding the information on their own. So the technology is the resource that allows students to find instant information and answer questions that they have and that they're posing about their own learning.
We live in a digital age, so they're gonna, no matter what job they're doing, at some point they're gonna need technology. And the more education that's behind there, the more substantial their job, the more important technology is gonna be. They're not just going to be typing up a paper or learning how to use a keyboard. They need to be able to incorporate the skills that they're learning into every aspect of their job. And for them being able to see all this new technology and for us to bring that technology into them, it's important for them to have that practice with it and learn it before they get out in the real world.
It's allowed me to be able to increase the content that I add to what I already do. And so like today we used the Nearpod and I was able to add more pictures than I normally would for them to be able to be engaged and make connections to what they already know. We can read about social studies and then do the writing about it, and so it connects all three, the writing, the reading, and the social studies seamlessly, and it helps me blend them all seamlessly. Whereas before it took a little bit more practice, and with the technology we can switch between them if we need to, or they can all go together.
They can work on something in class and I can be looking at what they're doing on my computer and I can put a comment on their assignment and say, hey, this is really cool, this is a really good idea that you have. It also gives me a chance to answer questions because they can ask me a question privately through the Google Classroom and they don't have to feel like, you know, it's a stupid question. They can ask no matter what and it's just between the two of us, and if I feel like it's something that needs to be addressed, no one knows that it came from them. I can just say, hey, I've got a question coming in, so here's what y'all all kind of need to know this. It's also easy when I've got kids out sick. I have 2 kids out today, and both of them, I've been able to say, your work today's on Google Classroom, that's what you need to do. But it's easy for me to give that to them instead of trying to pull a bunch of papers together. And the parent having to come to school and pick that up, and the parents having to leave with a stack of stuff to do.
Well, I'm seeing the students just in this short amount of time. I'm finding the learning is deeper, the learning is sticking with them, and I'm able to facilitate learning more.
The discussions bring in deeper discussions, and so they may not remember the terms a whole lot better, but they remember the concept. And that's what's important, because we can apply the terms and we can constantly go over those, but the concept is the part that they're understanding better, because we can have that discussion, whereas somebody can bring in their experiences from it and we can all pull in our experiences, and those little trigger points help put it into a big picture. I love their excitement. Like, just looking, the little things excite them. When I make an explanation video, they just love hearing my voice over and over and over and over. And just even if it's something that isn't as exciting, like typing a paper, just for the fact that it's on a computer, they're excited.
Our job is not only to teach students the content, but it's also to teach students to be prepared for the world that they're going to enter after high school, whether that be a career path, whether that be a tech school, whether that be a university. And our world right now is technology driven. So if we're not offering these students ways to learn, ways to research, way to find answers on technology devices, then we're just doing a disservice to our students. And so we need to prepare them, so we need to invest in those resources. And us as teachers, we've got to change our ways too and keep up with how the world is moving. And the world is moving with technology. So we need to be able to embed that resource into our teaching style. And so digital blended learning is a great way to do that.